Welcome to this lesson on managing employee underperformance. Managing underperformance is possibly one of the most challenging management tasks, and requires skill and a carefully managed process. So, let's get started on learning how to do this. Dealing with performance problems is a real challenge for any supervisor. Experienced supervisors often say it is one of the toughest parts of their jobs. Nevertheless, it is a key supervisory responsibility, and failure to address poor performance can have a greater impact than you may appreciate. In this unit, we will look briefly at the causes of underperformance, managing underperformance, preventing underperformance, and consequence management. What happens if you fail to deal with underperformance? Failing to address poor performance sends the wrong message to other employees. A message that you poor performers need not meet your performance expectations. Poor performance usually only gets worse over time. Rarely does it correct itself without action on the part of the supervisor. Taking action against one employee does not lower morale among other employees. In fact, the opposite is true. Often taking action leads to a more productive work environment. And constructive counseling given early and regularly not only often leads to performance improvement but also eliminates the need to consider more formal action that is even more unpleasant. Typically, there are three main causes of underperformance. These are lack of ability, lack of application, or lack of capability due to illness. We will look at each of these in turn. The first cause is lack of ability. This is often considered as the main cause of underperformance. Lower ability may be associated with the following: over difficult tasks, lower individual aptitude, skill, and knowledge, evidence of strong effort despite poor performance, and lack of improvement over time. Performance, however, is a function of both ability and motivation. This idea can be expressed as performance equals ability times motivation, where ability is the person's aptitude, as well as the training and resources supplied by the organization. Motivation is the product of desire and commitment. Someone with 100% motivation and 75% ability can often achieve above average performance. But a worker with only 25% ability won't be able to achieve the type of performance you expect, regardless of his or her level of motivation. This is why recruitment and job matching are such critical parts of performance management. Be sure to assess ability properly during the selection process. Minor deficiencies can certainly be improved through training. However, most organizations don't have the time or resources needed to remedy significant gaps. The second major cause of underperformance is lack of application. This occurs when the employee has the necessary skills and abilities to perform the role, but is not applying these, and as a result, there is a decline in their performance. As the manager, you need to ask yourself, is the employee demotivated, and if so, why? Is the role very routine or repetitive, and does it need to be enriched or enlarged? Are there any personal problems impacting on the individual? And are there any conflict issues within their team or organization, which could be impacting on their application? Consider this situation. Hassan is manager of an air traffic control operation in a busy international airport. One of his key controllers has been underperforming of recent. He is frequently late for work, and seems to be inattentive or confused in certain situations. He has also been absent more than is acceptable. Given the importance of his position, it is vital that the employee operates at 100% concentration when he's at work. Hassan thinks the employee may have personal problems, and may be drinking too much. He believes he has smelt alcohol on the employee's breath in the mornings. The employee has been with the organization more than 8 years, and has up to recently been a consistently effective air traffic controller. What should Hassan do? In this situation, Hassan probably needs to hold a formal meeting with the employee to determine the cause of the problem and initiate action. Arrange for a medical or counseling for the employee. Consider suspending the employee for a period from his current role and until his behavior and focus has improved. And possibly arrange for reassignment to a non-critical role. There are 5 main ways to overcome performance problems associated with the lack of ability. Consider using them in this sequence, which starts with the least intrusive: resupply, retrain, refit, reassign, and release. Let's look at each of these. With resupply, the focus is on the resources provided to do the job. Do employees have what they need to perform well and meet expectations? Ask them about additional resources they think they need. Listen for points of frustration. Note where employees report that support is inadequate. And verify the claims with your own investigation. People will often blame external sources for their poor performance before admitting their own fault. This is a very effective first step in addressing performance. It signals to members of your team that you're interested in their perspective and are willing to make the required changes. With the retrain solution, you should seek to provide additional training to team members. Explore with them whether they have the actual skills required to do what's expected. Given the pace of change of technology, it's easy for people's skills to become obsolete. This option recognizes the need to retain employees and keep their skills current. There are various types of retraining you can provide: bullet training seminars with in-house or external providers, bullet online training, bullet simulation exercises, bullet and subsidized college or university courses. When these first two measures aren't sufficient, consider refitting the job to the person. Are there parts of the job that can be reassigned? Analyze the individual components of the work, and try out different combinations of tasks and abilities. This may involve rearranging the jobs of other people as well. Your goal is to retain the employee, meet operational needs, and provide meaningful and rewarding work to everyone involved. When revising or refitting the job doesn't turn the situation around, look at reassigning the poor performer. Typical job reassignments may decrease the demands of the role by reducing the need for the following: responsibility, technical knowledge, or interpersonal skills. If you use this option, make sure the reassigned job is still challenging and stimulating. To ensure that this strategy is successful, never use demotion as a punishment tactic within your organization. Remember, the employee's performance is not intentionally poor, he or she simply lacked the skills for the position. As a final option for lack of ability, you may need to let the employee go. Sometimes there are no opportunities for reassignment, and refitting isn't appropriate for the organization. In these cases, the best solution for everyone involved is for the employee to find other work. You may need to consider contractual terms and restrictions, however, in the long run, this may be the best decision for your whole team. An employee's work performance may become impaired as a result of illness or injury. Impairment due to illness and injury could be a result of long-term sickness, disability, or a temporary impairment as a result of illness or injury. Consider this situation. You are the manager of an IT unit in your organization, and responsible for providing critical business reports to the senior management team. One of your contract employees is proving a problem. He is often absent from work, without advance warning, and does not provide an adequate explanation for his absence. However, when he is at work, he is a very capable and highly valuable member of the team. You are aware that he has a mental illness, which can lead to such erratic and unreliable behavior, but you are concerned about the productivity of the team, and your own reputation. It will be easy to let him go because he is a contract employee, but expertise like his is hard to find. What can you do about this? In this situation, the manager would be best advised to arrange an informal meeting to discuss the issues with the employee, explain the seriousness of the problem, outline consequences if it continues, offer counseling, and offer to provide a range of professional support if available. A serious illness or injury may prevent an employee from returning to work and fulfilling their role. In this case, an employer is advised to consider the points discussed below before making a decision about the employee's continued employment. Carry out regular consultation and communication with the employee to keep up to date on the employee's progress and ascertain if and when they may be able to return to work. Seek a medical opinion through the employee's GP or the company's occupational health advisor. This will enable an employer to make an informed decision about the employee's return to work and possible adjustments. Consider making adjustments to the role or hours to facilitate the employee's return to work. Consider the use of a phased return to work to enable the employee to return on a gradual basis. Consider redeploying the employee in another role if they cannot return to their original role. And finally, dismissal must be considered if the employee is unable to return or alternative work is not available. So how do you do all this in practice? This is where you need to develop a performance improvement plan. It is extremely important to put your agreement with the employee in writing. You will need to list the actions to be taken, and the dates by which improvement will be anticipated. You need to indicate how you will measure improvement. And you need to actually monitor progress. The document should be signed off by the employee and yourself. You will, of course, need to provide regular feedback to the employee on their progress, or indeed lack of it. You need to understand the root cause of the performance problem before you can fully address it. Ability and motivation go together to impact performance, and the most successful performance improvement efforts combine strategies for improving each. This creates a positive environment where people feel supported to reach their performance potential, and feel valued, knowing that the organization wants to find the good fit for their abilities. At times, your interventions may not be enough to salvage the situation. As long as you've given performance enhancement your best effort, and you've reasonably exhausted all your options, then you can feel confident that you're making the right decision, if you do need to let someone go. Before going down that route, however, try the strategies discussed here, and create a great work environment for your employees, one where their abilities are used to their full potential, and where good motivational techniques are used on a regular basis. There are a number of activities to complete for this unit. Take the time to complete these in your manual. In this way, you will better learn from and retain the knowledge covered in this unit. Thank you for watching this lesson. We hope you have found it useful. Would you like to learn more? Visit our websites to view our range of courses on the principles of management.